Good morning, guys. Today is Monday, August 4th, and today is day one of this new vlog. So this week I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. This is a video that I've had on my content calendar for months, and I keep pushing it back and pushing it back. And so finally I'm going to go ahead and dive right into it. I'm going to be doing a like screen time dictates my writing time type video. I've done one of these before. I did write a reading version of this 2 years ago. I actually just watched that video to kind of refamiliarize myself with how I did it. So I will tag that video down below if you want to check that one out. That one is reading specific. I did not read completely. I finished 12 books in 1 week. Books that I had been in the middle of for like months. I managed to finish them in 1 week. So like I said, I'll tag that video down below. This week I'm going to do a combination. I'm going to do writing and reading. I'm not currently drafting yet. I did start last night. I decided to start a new project, just one of my many projects that I have sitting on Dabble. This, I don't have a title for it yet. I'm calling it Project Motorcycle because I have one specific like scene in mind that involves a motorcycle, or kind of the motorcycle comes into play a few times in the story, and that was the very first thing that I had in mind for the story when I thought of it, like, I don't know, months ago. So like I said, right now I'm calling it Project Motorcycle until I get more into it and come up with a title where the title sticks out to me. So last night I started getting my Notion together for it, my Notion like dashboard for it. I looked at the few notes that I did have in Dabble for it. I started doing some research on writing like a contemporary romance, looking at outlines for romances. I re-downloaded or borrowed, I should say, from the library, Romancing the Beat, so I can look at the different beats for a romance story. I have downloaded a few comp titles that I can see how the actual beats like play out in an actual book, and get an idea of how these kinds of stories have been done before. So this is going to be a contemporary romance. It's going to be a kind of a forbidden romance, like an office place romance. I don't want it to be like a dark romance. I want it to be more, I would love it to be kind of more along the lines of like a hating game type vibe. A lot of the office place romance books that I found are kind of, I don't know if they're necessarily dark romances, but they're definitely like Kindle Unlimited kind of romances. I don't know, I want this to be a little bit more lighter than that, I guess. That's why like I said, I downloaded a few comp titles so I can kind of see how this plays out in other books. So like I said, office place romance, like a forbidden romance, and I don't know, I don't really know. That's like all I have so far. I have the basic idea of what I want the story to be. This is actually going to end up being a fanfic, although I don't really like saying fanfic because it's not based on a specific fandom. It's going to go on AO3, but it's going to go under the like original works tab, so it's going to be more like a serialized story, I think. So it's going to be shorter than obviously a full novel. I don't really have an idea as far as word count or anything yet. I'm just going to kind of dive in and see where things go. Right now I just have the basic one like idea of what I want, and I'm just going to kind of dive in and see what happens. So the basic idea that I had is that's going to be the other thing. It's going to be like a one-night stand turns into more kind of thing. So the couple, man and woman, have a one-night stand, and it turns out that, you know, they agreed they're going to go their separate ways. It was fun. It was good. It's not like it's a one-night stand and she reads more into it or he reads more into it and the other one's not interested. It's not like that. They both agree it's a one-night stand, one and done, move on with their lives. But then it turns out that he is her new boss. And I would like there to be some tension, some flirtation, some will they, won't they, maybe a little bit of slow burn, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of go with it and see what happens. But as far as this challenge itself, I'm gonna do both writing and reading. And when I say writing, I don't necessarily mean drafting. I'm going to include research, reading those comp books, outlining, brainstorming, plotting, all the things. So all aspects of writing are going to be included in the challenge. And then also reading, because the last time I did this challenge, my screen time on my phone was like 5, 6, 7 hours. There's no way that I can do that much writing in a day when I'm working full time. It's just impossible. It was one thing when I was working from home, it was a little bit easier. Even then, writing for that long is like impossible in a day for me. But reading is much easier because I can listen to audiobooks while I work. So I'm going to combine the two. I'm going to try to do as much writing each day as I can, and then I will have the reading kind of make up the rest of the time. Okay guys, welcome back. It is about 6 o'clock now, and we're gonna have to pivot a little bit in this video because this morning did not go as planned. I tried to go on to my phone, into the settings of my phone, and do the like screen time to see what my screen time would be for the day, and apparently my phone is not recording screen time. I couldn't see it at all. It kept trying to pull up my iPad, and I don't use my iPad that often, so it wasn't recording any screen time there. Finally figured out how to get my iPad off, and it still was not recording the screen time for my phone. I spent like an hour and a half Googling and trying to figure out what was going on and why it wasn't working. Tried all these different backdoor ways to try to get it fixed. Nothing worked. And then finally I ended up doing like a reset on my phone that kind of screwed up my phone a little bit. It like erased a bunch of stuff. Not like my pictures and stuff, but just like other stuff. The settings on my phone are different. So I spent like all day trying to get it back to where it was and figuring things out. And now it shows the area where it like shows your screen time, but there's no history. So I don't know if now it needs to like record however many days to have like a history to show, or if it's just not gonna work still. Apparently this is a thing. I found a bunch of like Reddits talking about how like the screen time function has been really like glitchy and not working for a lot of people over the last like year. So that sucks. So I'm not gonna be able to do that video until I can figure that out or see if it does work. So we're gonna pivot. I didn't want to start the video all over again. We will just roll with it and I'll show you guys real time what is happening. So instead we're gonna pivot to a 24 hours of writing vlog. Now I work full time, so I cannot write 24 hours consecutively. I wish that I could do that, but I cannot. So I'm just going to put my timer on each time I am writing. So because I've made the pivot, this is no longer going to be reading included. This is just going to be straight writing. I'll put my timer on every time I'm working on writing and keep doing it and see how long it takes me to get to 24 hours worth of working on my books. So I used I started to film a vlog last week and then I ended up scrapping it. So I think maybe I talked about this in that vlog. I don't remember if I talked about it in the last vlog that you guys have seen. I started the second book in my series, in the Forgotten Kingdoms series, and just didn't like the way it was going. And then as I was rereading The Hollow Crown, I realized that I had done this whole setup for the second book and I had completely forgotten about it. So I need to, everything I wrote in that second book has to be rewritten because it does not match the setup that I have in the first book. So that kind of discouraged me a little bit and I just wasn't feeling it. And I'm at a point now where I'm not really sure what my publishing plans are. If I want to publish Twisted Loyalties first, if I want to focus on this fantasy series and get that published first. I really like the idea of going back to fan fiction because I have been a fan fiction writer for probably close to 20 years. On and off, not like consecutively the whole time, but on and off. And I love writing fan fiction. I love reading fan fiction. I like kind of the instant gratification you get with fan fiction of kudos and views and comments and building up a readership on there. And I really have been feeling for the past like year that I want to go back to that. And I haven't because there isn't like a specific fandom that I want to write in. But I I talked to some people in our Discord, and I know that there is a like original works tag that you can do in like AO3 archive of our own, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a specific fandom. So I think I'm gonna try it. It's something that I've been wanting to do, like I said, for like the past year. I was a couple of years ago, I was writing fan fiction and really enjoyed it, and I had built up a decent readership, and so I would like to try to get back to that. And I had a lot of people who commented regularly and that I would like comment back and talk to, and I would love to get back to that. So I think I might make that like a serialized story and put it on AO3. So that is what I'm going to be working on. Yeah, we're going to see how much I can get done over the next 24 hours, however long that may be. So like I said, it is Monday now. It's about 6:15 now. I'm going to get changed. We've already had dinner, so I'm going downstairs. I do need to do some work for my VA client, so I'm going to do that first. And then I will jump in and see kind of what brainstorming and plotting I can get done tonight. Morning, guys. It is Tuesday, August 5th now. It is about 6:15 a.m. So I did get into some writing last night. I joined into some sprints with some friends in the Discord. I definitely didn't get as much done yesterday as I would have liked. I had to do some work on a website for one of my VA clients, so most of my evening was spent on that. But I was able to get a few sprints in. Currently my timer is sitting at 45 minutes and I think like 36 seconds or something. So definitely not a ton of work done yesterday, but it was something. I did get 2 or 3 chapters into one of the comp books that I'm reading. It is called The Miles High Club. It is about a woman who meets or who has a one night stand with a man that she meets on an airplane. And they like hook up on the layover of the airplane. And I haven't gotten for very much further in, but I assume that she then finds out that he is her new boss. So definitely has a lot of the same elements that I am going for in my story. It's been really good to see kind of the setup, and to see the different like hints and details that are being dropped, and like the foreshadowing that is happening, and just the setup that is happening for what is going to come. So that's been a great thing to see, and like an example of how that setup looks. I've been taking notes. I've been kind of comparing that book to the Romancing the beat sheet, so I can kind of see how those play out like in real life or in real time in an actual book. I made some notes on my phone. That's mainly what I did last night. I also set up, I took a screenshot. I took the beat sheet from Romancing the Beat and added all of those beats into Dabble, into the like plotting dashboard that Dabble has. I will turn the camera around in a minute. I'll show you guys that. So yeah, that's basically where we are so far. Like I said, not a huge start yesterday, but something, especially since I had to pivot the video like in the middle of the day. So yeah, I'll show you guys that, and then I'm gonna try and do a little bit now before I start getting ready for work. So let's get right to it. Okay, so here's what it's currently looking like. So I had to kind of play around with how I was going to set this up. The plot like dashboard isn't exactly set up to be used this way, but I'm just kind of manipulating it to work the way I need it to. So I did the different phases from the beat sheets here. So the setup, falling in love, retreating from love, and then fighting for love. And then the specific beats themselves. I think so far right now I have it set up so that each beat is a separate chapter. I don't know if that's how it will end up playing out once I actually start drafting. I'm going to outline it that way, but we'll see how it plays out once I actually start drafting. It could be that, the intros end up being one chapter, or, and then the meet cute is a separate chapter. These may end up not necessarily falling within these specific chapters. But if they do, then I do have about 20 chapters here, which I think is a decent length for a fanfic or for a serialized story. We'll see. I know that I need to kind of keep this not super long, although there are some fanfics that are like really long. I've read fanfics that have like 50 chapters, long chapters. So I'm not too worried about it. I just want to enjoy it while I'm doing it and while I can. So my interest tends to like wane pretty quickly. I have ADHD and my attention gets pulled to different projects very quickly. So I'm just going to kind of lean into this one while I can and while I'm feeling it. And then once I don't feel like doing this one anymore, then I'll pivot and do something else. But right now, this is what's working for me. Also, I forgot to mention that I also went in and added the story to Archive of Our Own. I went and I wrote out a little summary of what I think at this point the story is going to be about. I may update this as I write the story and things shift and change, but I think this is a good general like overview of the idea that I have so far. And got this into AO3 so that it'll show up like on my writer's page. I did a little note. I think I am going to add like updates and little snippets and sneak peeks and stuff as I write the story, so that I can hopefully start to like drum up some interest on AO3, especially since the original tags are not as popular as fics that are actual fics that have a fandom. So, which I understand because obviously that's the point of AO3, but so I have that set up there. So I feel like I have a good starting point. I think this morning I'm going to go into my little notebook. Let me show you guys. I ordered this notebook off of TikTok. I kept seeing it on TikTok, and it's like a lay flat, and it has like 600 and something pages, and I've already started using it for different stuff. I have different trackers in here. I have a TBR in here. I have a social media plan, weight tracker, my morning routine. I have a challenge that I want to work on in the fall that I started like writing out and planning in here. Gratitude list. I have my prayers like list in here, workout tracker, all this stuff. So I am going to also put my like brainstorming in here for my different stories. So I need to go in and add that and start. I want to do kind of like a mind map, just like a general brainstorming thing, and then go in and maybe start lightly like outlining, or maybe not outlining, but kind of plotting and just getting down the ideas that I have for this serialized story. So yeah, I'm gonna work on that for a little bit now before I start getting ready for work. I have about 25 minutes. That's not true. About 15 minutes before I need to start getting ready for work. So I'm gonna do a quick little sprint, get some planning in, and then I will get ready for work and get this day started. Okay, so I just went through, spent like 5 minutes transitioning the notes that I take in my phone over to a brainstorming page in my notebook. I think what I'm going to keep doing for now is keep reading this book and keep making notes on my brainstorming pages as they come to me. It has definitely really been helpful to see, like I said, this trope and this kind of story like played out for real in a book, and to see the setup of it. And it's given me a lot of ideas for things that I want to do or things that I don't want to do. So I think I'm going to keep reading it and keep taking notes. I get all of my notes in one place. And then after that, I will go in and kind of organize them based on whether they're like world building or setup or specific like character traits or notes for like smut scenes, whatever, and then just kind of organize everything from there, and then move into like actually plotting and organizing and stuff, or outlining, I should say. Okay guys, it is a little bit later. I'm at work, as you can see. My time count is currently at 1 hour and 45 minutes. So I need to put together some folders over here, for like benefit information folders. So while I do that, I'm going to put on some YouTube. I'm going to watch Meredith Phillips' video about outlining and how she outlines, and try to get some ideas and like inspiration for how I want to outline in this book. So I'm going to count that because it's technically research on outlining. So I'm going to count that. So I'm going to start my timer, and we will add some more time to this challenge while I also do some other work. So it is several hours later now. It's about 8:15. I am a little bit winded because my genius asthmatic self decided to go for a walk slash jog slash little yoga session outside when it is currently very hazy and smoky out from 2 or 3 different fires that are happening around us. There's one in the Grand Canyon. There's one a little bit fire is about an hour north from us, and then the third fire is I think Santa Barbara. So it is smoky and hazy out, and I forgot that it was smoky and hazy out until I got outside and was wondering why I was getting winded so quickly. That is why. So I'm inside now. Obviously I'm going to try to get some more time in on this challenge tonight. I also have some stuff on my to-do list that I need to finish out for the night. So I'm going to jump right in. My phone is dying, so I'm going to jump right in to those things and see how much more time I can get in today for day 2 of this challenge. Morning guys, welcome to Wednesday. It is 6:30 now. I did not do an update last night after I did some writing because my phone died. I was actually filming my mid-year freak out video before I did my writing, and my phone died. So but I did end the night with, I was just shy of 3 hours on the timer. I ended at about 2:45, I believe. So this morning I have about 10 minutes before I need to start getting ready for work. So 10 to 15 minutes, I can probably push it a little bit. So I think I'm going to go into my notebook here and add in the rest of the brainstorming notes that I took last night. Basically what I've been doing is reading the comic book that I'm reading, making notes in my notes app about things that come to mind as I read it, and different scene ideas that I'm having, dialogue, all the things, keeping those notes on my phone and then transitioning them over into the notebook in the morning. So that is what I think I'm going to do right now. It shouldn't hopefully take too long. I haven't decided if I'm going to try to get through this whole book before I really start outlining and plotting, or if I want to start and kind of do both simultaneously, and then I can make any changes that I need to as I have more ideas. This book is kind of long, actually, the one that I'm reading. It says that I'm only 19% in. I am reading it on my phone, so I know it's not like fully accurate, but it says that there's 500 pages, which seems kind of long. So I think I might do both simultaneously, because I feel like if I don't, it's probably going to take me like a week probably to read this book, and I don't know that I want to wait that long to really start plotting and outlining. So we'll see. I'll probably get to that today. I'll show you guys at some point. But yeah, right now I'm going to go ahead and start adding those notes back into my notebook. Hey guys, I am done now. Well, I'm not done, but I have run out of time. I need to get ready for work now. But I did continue adding those notes into my notebook. I didn't realize how many notes I had taken last night, and how many notes I wrote of like different dialogue that was coming to mind, and just different like plot points and ideas that were just coming to mind. I just in the last like 10 minutes I've written basically 2 pages of notes, and I still have a lot more in my notes app, so that's kind of awesome. I'm excited for that. I think when I get to work, I will get into the plots like grid that I have in Dabble, and start adding some of these things onto that plot grid, and get to plotting this new story.
So honestly, the vibes are good. I should just like come and write here a little bit more often than I do. Yeah, it was just really lovely to be back and to walk around.
several days later. I honestly don't even know when the last time I updated this vlog was. But I have hit my 24 hours. I had about, I think the last time I updated, I had about 5 hours left. And between yesterday and today, I have hit those 24 hours. So that took, honestly, I think like 2 weeks. I'll have to look back and see when I took that first video clip. I think it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks for me to get 24 hours worth of writing. But in that 24 hours, we accomplished a lot. I did all of the brainstorming for Project Motorcycle. I read an entire comp book for it. I watched a bunch of videos about brainstorming and outlining and plotting. I read most of Romancing the Beat. I created an entire Notion dashboard for it and like story bible for it. I named my characters. I knew before what I wanted the names, or what I wanted the like general plot of the story to be, but I didn't have character names or anything. I now have character names. And I have added all of my brainstorming notes into a plot like grid or dashboard on Dabble. I created index cards for all of the different beats for the story, and I went in and added my notes to those cards depending on which beat the note or the like idea that I had falls into. And I have a basic idea for what I want the like outline and the chapter outlines to look like. So I think I accomplished a lot in those 24 hours. I think my next video, I think you guys will probably see a video of me creating the like general outline. I'm going to create one general outline for the entire story and then break that outline down into chapter outlines. So the next video will probably be me doing that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you are excited to hear more about Project Motorcycle as I get further into it. I'm excited to discover more about Project Motorcycle because I still don't have like full specifics and details yet, obviously. But I'm excited to start writing and kind of see where the story goes and let it kind of take off on its own and see what happens. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for being here. Please give me a like down below, leave a comment, let me know what projects are you working on. Are you a plotter or a pantser, or are you trying to be more of both like I am? Let me know down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.